Ministry of Foreign Affairs said it has managed to maintain successful and peaceful foreign relations. And African farmers from Eastern and Southern African nations are deliberating on how to speed up their agricultural productivity. Well, the main headlines in this news edition. Hello and welcome to ETV News. I'm Shmal Islam. Prime Minister Hailemariam Desalegn said Ethiopia is keen to boost ties with Gambia. The Premier, while conferring with Gambian Foreign Minister Suzan Wafa Ogu on Monday, said Ethiopia would exert efforts to enhance bilateral relations with that country. I beg your pardon. Hailemariam said the two countries need to extend their cooperation on various fields, at the same time strengthening the existing trade and tourism cooperation. Gambian Foreign Minister Suzan Wafa Ogu expressed Gambia's desire to strengthen the existing ties between the two countries. She has delivered President Yahya Jammeh Al-Alloh invitation for Prime Minister Hailemariam to visit Gambia to discuss bilateral issues. Defense Engineering College graduated 359 students at diploma, undergraduate and postgraduate levels in different fields of engineering. Speaking on the occasion, the Ethiopian National Defense Forces Chief of Staff, General Samora Yunus, said creating skilled manpower meant immense to ensure the lasting peace and development of Ethiopia. He urged the graduates to make every effort to augment the capacity of the institution. College Dean Commander Brigadier General Halefo Majigu, for his part, said creating enabling army that can apply modern technologies and swift up their service has been given due attention by the government. Quality training is also among the priority areas, the Dean said. According to him, the college remains committed in admitting students from various African countries and building the image of the nation. High-level defense leaders, government officials and families of graduates were in attendance. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs said the nation has been able to maintain successful and peaceful foreign relations with neighboring countries in 2012. Ministry spokesperson Ambassador Dina Mufti said Ethiopia's social, economic and political relations with neighboring countries remains peaceful and successful during the mentioned period. The ambassador described Ethiopia's effort to interconnect itself with neighboring countries through infrastructure development as a showcase for such successful relations. Besides, Ethiopia has been playing a great role to ensure peace and stability in Africa by deploying its peacekeeping force and conducting activities related to reconciliation, Ambassador Dina Mufti said. In another account, Ethiopian communities in the Middle East have formed a union to fight the abuse and suffering of Ethiopian migrant workers in the region. After a meeting in Addis Ababa on Monday, a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) was signed by representatives of Ethiopian communities in Jeddah, Riyadh, Bahrain, Dubai, Yemen, Lebanon and Qatar. The union vowed to defend the rights of Ethiopian migrant workers in the stated countries and fight illegal traffickers in coordination with the relevant government offices. Razana Lemlem, head of the Ethiopian community in Jeddah, said that the increase in the number of illegal traffickers was exacerbating the problem of trafficking. Meanwhile, Nabiyu Balleta, deputy head of the Ethiopian community in Yemen, noted that there was a significant number of Ethiopians wandering in different cities of Yemen after being smuggled by tortuous paths into the country. Ministry of Agriculture expressed helping small-scale farmers to involve in value chains in agriculture sector is fundamental to maintain food security and sustainable development in Africa. African farmers from Eastern and Southern African nations are deliberating on how to speed up their agricultural productivity. Lalu Itala reports.
The momentum that we are seeing, the political will, the will from the private sector, the will from the farmers, the hunger from the populations. You can see everybody wants to get out of this vicious cycle of hunger and poverty. This should not be our vocabulary in the next 20 years. We should change the language.
Agriculture sector has been the backbone for so many African nations, including Eastern and Southern African countries. But lack of finance, technology, scientific agricultural practices, and a market has remained the challenges for so many African farmers and for the development of the sector in particular and sustainable growth in the region in general. Speaking at the third regional stakeholders farmers meeting that has kicked off in Addis Ababa on Tuesday, Ethiopian Agriculture State Minister Wandirar Mandafur said Africa has established the right strategies that would enable it to achieve higher level of economic growth.
And small-scale farmers get involved in value chain implies that facilitating and supporting farmers' organizations and cooperatives to enhance their capacities to properly and effectively participate. It also calls for ensuring that smallholders have secured access to productive assets, both financing and integrating in a high-value marketing chains.
He stressed creating competitive economic environment and financing smallholders farmers is crucial to maintain agricultural development in the region. He went on saying that all stakeholders in the agricultural sector need to work hand in hand for agricultural transformation.
Farmers' organizations should unite efforts, have all hands-on capability to establish mechanisms to fund investment in regional public goods and services for agricultural transformation to support all the value chains.
Ethiopia will continue supporting smallholders farmers to help them increase productivity by maximizing public investment, he added. Arjand Chulu, Chief Executive of Alliance for Commodity Trade in Eastern and Southern Africa, for his part said the forum helps to materialize the vision set before years to enhance the sector.
The outcome of this meeting will be used to improve the delivery models that ACTESA and COMESA have put in motion. And therefore, most of these participants in the workshop are actually implementation partners. And they will be the people running the business on the ground. Therefore, they will also provide feedback to COMESA and ACTESA on how all these models and strategies are performing on the ground. So we are all working as a team and as a family and interdepending on each other and also relying on each other for the future.
Dr. Getachew Balai, coordinator of the event, says member nations of COMESA have to involve the private sectors to solve financing problems.
To solve these financing challenges, to involve the private sector, to increase the involvement of the private sector.
The participants said infrastructure, various incentives, right information and financial support need to be provided to the farmers in the region to boost agricultural productivity. They are expected to deliberate on various papers that could help maximize agricultural productivity on their two-day meeting. Lalu Itala reports for ERT News.
You're watching ETV News. Haramaya University calls on higher learning institutions to release problem-solving research outputs to expedite national development. The university has unveiled that a project to rehabilitate Lake Haramaya and tree seedling transplantation is happening there, with a bid to assist the restoration campaign. Oromia State Deputy Chief Abdulaziz Mohammed underscored that it is high time to conserve natural resources to fight the adverse effects of climate change. Meanwhile, federal and regional officials plus Haramaya or university community have transplanted tree seedlings in Meles Zenawi Park. Ethiopia is said to be leading in alluring foreign manufacturing investment in Africa. Tegusta Nessa has more on that.
Ethiopian Development Research Institute and Japanese International Cooperation Agency JICA on Tuesday held their fourth high-level forum on industrial development. The forum has emphasized policy dialogue on industrial development between the governments of Ethiopia and Japan. It has looked into furthering the promotion of strategic foreign direct investment (FDI) and aspects of technology transfer. Hiroyuki Kishino, Japanese ambassador to Ethiopia, talks about bilateral development cooperation.
If investment is either in our export industries or import substitution industries, it will contribute to improving foreign exchange reserves.
Industry State Minister Sisae Gemechu articulated that Ethiopia is on the right track with clear vision of development for 2025. In fact, the Ethiopian government is creating a makeable business environment for foreign investors. Mekonnen Manezo, Ethiopia's National Planning Commissioner, was on the forum.
The GTP clearly gave direction and as a strategy to promote foreign direct investment for industrial growth, for export and technology transfer. So these are an important perspective.
Professor Kechini Ahuno from Japanese National Graduate Institute for Policy Studies highlights what Ethiopia needs to do to maintain its current development trends.
Ethiopia is one of the leading countries in Africa to receive light manufacturing, so I want the government to make efforts and the companies to make efforts to make this happen.
Participants on the forum have expressed hope that Ethiopia is somewhat on the way to achieve its growth and transformation plan.
Finally, a business delegation from Kenya is in Ethiopia to observe investment opportunities in the country. The delegates are drawn from agriculture, hotel and tourism, metal, textile and leather industries. The delegates held discussion with their Ethiopian counterparts. Abatahalo reports.
Some 40 business delegates headed by Kenya Association of Manufacturers seemingly interested to benefit from Ethiopian business environment. On Tuesday, the delegates held discussion with their Ethiopian counterparts. Industry, agriculture, hotel and tourism, metal, textile and leather industry have been identified sectors that attract Kenyan investment into Ethiopia. Investors whom ERT talked to stressed the need for exerting maximum level of effort so as to become competent and attract more foreign investment.
It's a very good foundation, for the future, for business relationship. I think I personally, because I came from a hospitality industry as a leader, because communication, people first have to know each other. So tourism, it's an open door for that. People, when they know each other and they know the country, they know what they can do in a neighboring country.
Doing business in person, meeting and discussing has got huge impact in developing mutual relationships. For instance, if you look automotive industry, it's preferable to meet the car manufacturers, the part manufacturers in person so that we can understand.
The Kenyan Business Mission for ZEPA said the discussion they paired with Ethiopian investors helps them exploit the available business opportunities in Ethiopia.
Ethiopia has a great potential as a country. It's first of all a very old civilization, a very interesting country, and it's got over 80 million people, therefore a potentially big market itself. And also the government, I believe, is very proactive now. And we as a company, for us it's interesting because we have very big export markets for our products in Europe and Japan and North America. And given the fact that there is enough arable land available in Ethiopia, there are great opportunities for growing crops for export to the countries I mentioned now.
I believe that if you invest within the Addis area, you get some tax exemptions for a certain number of years, but if you invest outside Addis, you get some more or for a longer period. That would be interesting for us.
We need to start looking closer to our neighbors and working together. And this SSP, the special document that has been signed, is only improving our relationships and making sure that trade happens.
It is time for Kenya companies to take advantage of those opportunities as Ethiopia is on rise. The visit is the first of its kind following the special status agreement penned between the two countries last year. It is learned that Kenya Association of Manufacturers has been leading delegations to countries in Africa as part of ongoing efforts to tap into the emerging markets. Ethiopia's imports from Kenya in 2012 was $55.9 million. The country in turn exported goods worth $4.3 million to Kenya.
Well, you've been watching the news brought to you from the English News Desk with Mishma Slama. Many thanks for staying with us and have a good day.